What started as a public awareness effort at Hopkins High School has now made its way to the state capitol and to the courts. Minnesota's anti-vaping push has now turned into a lawsuit. Eric Nelson has more.
Shannon, vaping has quickly become an epidemic here in Minnesota and across the U.S. Today at the Capitol, some powerful politicians made a blockbuster announcement to try and stop the vaping crisis.
Vapes became popular, and it was marketed as the safe alternative. And it seemed like that to me. That's what everyone was saying, so I bought into that.
We're using the power of the Minnesota Attorney General's office to bring a lawsuit against Juul Labs on behalf of the state and the people of Minnesota.
The state of Minnesota claims that tobacco giant Juul has deceived the public about its product. The lawsuit alleges that Juul used deception and a fraudulent marketing strategy to hook kids into vaping. Will Gittler of Hopkins High was at today's jam-packed news conference to tell his story. Gittler and other students jump-started this discussion in October when they met with Governor Tim Walz to tell him about the impact of vaping. Today, Walz did not sugarcoat things when he talked about Juul.
Trace back to who owns Juul. There's a new name for big tobacco, and it's Juul, and it's vaping. It's that simple. But my message to Juul as they're listening today is, you can hire your attorneys, you will have your day in court, but we will bring the righteous justice of the state of Minnesota down on Juul.
Now, Attorney General Keith Ellison says he doesn't know how much the amount of the lawsuit will be and that they are still gathering data against Juul. Reporting at the state capitol, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
State politicians said the lawsuit compares to one that Minnesota filed against Big Tobacco 20 years ago. A significant change is on its way concerning medical marijuana. This week, Minnesota's health commissioner authorized an expansion of medical conditions that qualify for medical marijuana use. Delane Cleveland spoke with a local doctor about the impact. Delane?
Shannon, the Department of Health announced that chronic pain and age-related macular degeneration are the two new conditions that qualify for Minnesota's medical cannabis program. However, optometrists say they don't want people to get their hopes up too high.
Just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's effective. And both the optometry and ophthalmology community have not endorsed this. And there is no evidence that either organization quotes that any cannabis is useful for eye diseases or to prevent eye disease.
Dr. Jordan Keith is an optometrist at the Eye Care Center in Maple Grove. He says patients ask every day about marijuana to treat macular degeneration. The disease is the most common cause of vision loss in people over 60, and it doesn't have a cure or an effective treatment. But Dr. Keith says doctors will still have a lot of unanswered questions about medical marijuana until researchers are able to conduct large clinical trials on people.
We don't know if it's helpful, and worse, we don't know if it's harmful. And so news like this should be approached with caution, and we'd all love something to work better than our current treatments, but I think the conversations with patients will certainly be very cautious.
People wanting medical marijuana to treat macular degeneration or chronic pain will be able to do so in August of 2020. Shannon?
Thanks, Delane. The City of Brooklyn Center has purchased the closed Target store for future redevelopment. The store closed in February and has been vacant ever since. Last week, Brooklyn Center paid $3.6 million for the property. The city will add it to the 100-acre opportunity site that the city is trying to redevelop. A Minneapolis-based developer has an agreement with the city to redevelop land south of the Target store with housing, entertainment, and retail. Meanwhile, the former Toys R Us store in the Ridgedale Festival Center is in transition to become a new Hobby Lobby store. The Toys R Us closed in the spring of 2018 when the company went bankrupt and liquidated all of its stores. Hobby Lobby stores have opened in many of the former Toys R Us locations across the U.S. This location is expected to open up in February. He is hardworking and very humble. Hopkins High School senior Evan Komschlies prides himself in helping others. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on today's Standout Student.
Were there any symbols that seemed to pop up from last night's reading? Yeah, Evan?
Evan Komschlies is very ambitious.
I like to be busy. It keeps me honest.
He excels in athletics and academics.
And my favorite class right now is AP Environmental Science, just because it's really fun. It's real information. We learn about like climate change and water cycles and things like that, but you learn like the real science behind things.
Math and science are his passion, but he also likes the challenge of AP Literature, where the class is reading The Awakening.
Was Edna trying to make a power move herself?
Evan is among a prestigious group of students named National Merit Scholarship semifinalists.
Hopefully I'll make that finalist.
The National Honor Society president is also involved in several extracurricular activities.
I play soccer in the fall, alpine ski in the winter, and I run track and field in the spring, which is I pole vault and run hurdles.
The scholar is also an Eagle Scout. In order to get the Eagle rank, Scouts must complete a service project that provides a permanent benefit to an institution in their community. Evan chose the Hopkins High School Alpine Ski Club.
This room used to be all pretty much this color. This was all cinder block.
He completely transformed the space, getting rid of clutter,
I put your skis on like this.
making it easier for skiers to wax their gear.
Yeah, these weren't here before. You throw it up there for the wax to dry and cool.
He used his math and engineering skills on the project.
We built this bench to put ski bags underneath.
His end goal is to have a career where he can make people's lives much easier.
Being an engineer and building things that can make things more efficient.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Evan plans to study engineering after he graduates. He has applied to Northwestern University, the Air Force Academy, and Stanford. To learn about more Standout Students, check out our website, ccxmedia.org.
The Hopkins boys basketball team won the state Class 4A championship last March. The Royals were coming off a season-opening loss, though, to Park Center on Saturday and looking to bounce back in their home opener at the Lindbergh Center against Armstrong. The Royals' Sawyer Shrake shuttles the ball over to Xavier White and buries a three-pointer to give Hopkins a 9-5 lead. Then it's Elvis Najee dishing the ball to the corner. Andrew Chisley drives in strong to the basket to score on the floater and draw a foul. Hopkins is up 7. Watch Najee here work inside. He powers into the lane and dunks home 2. The Royals build a 12-point lead. Second half, the Royals defense creates some offense. Shrake with the steal. Gets it to Andre Gray, who hits the mid-range jumper, and Hopkins leads by 16. Armstrong puts together a scoring run of its own. Jake Breitbach goes baseline, dumps it off. Hezekiah Ayawe for the bucket, and Armstrong's within 9. But the Royals heat up from the perimeter. White with another triple on his way to a 14-point game. Hopkins goes on to win 79-56. Armstrong plays at Apple Valley next, while the Royals host the Breakdown Classic event on Saturday. Also in boys basketball, Cooper on the road to face Champlin Park in a non-conference game. Rebels avoid a backcourt turnover, and Jared Walter finds Ethan Renz for an open three-pointer for a quick 5-0 Champlin Park lead. Walter passes to Francis Wakori on the block. He spins inside for 2. A big scoring night for the junior. Cooper's Broderick Powell Jr. grabs the loose ball and is on the move. Nice pass off to David Evans, who waits for the defender to go by before laying it in for 2. Richard Scott takes one dribble and then spots an open Josh Strong in the corner for 3. And Champlin Park opens up a 48-22 lead at the half. Coach Bo Powell looking for his Hawks to score more in the second half, and they do. Tyson Dallas dishing to the corner. Jeffrey Cooper with a 3 there for the Hawks. But the Rebels hold the lead comfortably most of the night. Well, Corey for 2 more of his game-high 22 points. Champlin Park beats Cooper 87-60. Now to girls basketball, where second-ranked Wayzata went on the road to face another top 10 team in Class 4A. 10th-ranked Maple Grove at home to take on the unbeaten Trojans on a pay-it-forward cancer awareness night at Maple Grove. Jenna Johnson taking the entry pass here from Mara Braun to score an early 2 for the Trojans. Maple Grove's Izzy Brandt makes 3 three-pointers in the game, including this one to get the Crimson back within 3 points. It's a low-scoring first half with Wayzata up 24-19 at the break. Early second half, the Crimson's Abby Schulte dials up a three-pointer. She scores 21 points in the game. The Crimson lead by 1. But Wayzata goes back in front and slowly pulls away. Olivia Arnebeck's three-pointer extends the Trojans' lead to 6. Johnson leads Wayzata in scoring with 21 points, 14 of them in the second half. The Trojans go to 5-0 on the season with a 63-44 win. In girls hockey, 2 of the state's top teams went head-to-head. Breck, ranked first in Class A, paid a visit to Braemar Arena to take on Edina, ranked second in Class AA. Highlights from this game: in first period, Edina's Gwen Hendrickson stick handles through 4 Breck players and scores with a backhander. Late in the first period, it's Hannah Chortsky lasering a shot top corner. It's a 2-0 Hornets lead. Second period, Breck's Hannah Halverson breaks in alone, but she's stopped by Edina goalie Uma Cornier. In the third period, Breck freshman Ava Lindsay burns 2 Edina defenders and scores a beautiful goal, putting the Mustangs on the board. But Edina pours it on after that. Barrett Lindborg fires the shot. Kylie Roberts buries the rebound. Emma Connor sets up Chorsky for a one-timer and a 6-1 Hornets lead. That's the final as Edina skates past Breck. That's all for sports. More news in a moment.